Students, today we will discuss the new chapter of the history, that is nationalism in Europe. So, two compulsory chapters: nationalism in India and nationalism in Europe. The two chapters are compulsory and we have to prepare. This is a large chapter. There will be the several video clips of the chapter division wise. Okay. So today we will discuss the first divisions of this chapter, that is between 1789 to 1815. The now question is, what is the nationalism stand for? It had been discussed earlier also when we prepared the chapter nationalism in India. The patriotic feelings towards the nation, and why these feelings had been generated during that time in Asia and in Europe. In questions of Asia or India, because in India there was a long 200 years the British rule, British domination, and so people of India tried to break out from this British domination, and this independence struggle was known as the nationalism in India, the nationwide struggle. The main objective of this Indian nationalism was, anyhow, the people of India wanted to get that freedom. Here also, in Europe, there is a slight difference between that Indian nationalism and European nationalism. In Indian nationalism was totally based on that non-violence, but in European nationalism was based on battle and war. Now question is, what was the domination of all the European nations? Who were the dominated power in European nations? The whole Europe, if you see, like that in India was dominated by the British, and that's where the struggle and movement started. And same way, whole Europe was dominated by the fourth dynasty, fourth power. The power is, look up here, the power is the Holy Roman Empire or Holy Roman Dynasty. The question is, which dynasty was known as the Holy Roman Dynasty? The British dynasty, that's been England. The some part of the Europe was conquered or the dominated by Holy Roman Dynasty, means England. Romanov Dynasty means Russia. Habsburg Dynasty means Austria or Hungary, and Ottoman Dynasty, that's means Turkish Dynasty. Okay, so this whole European people wanted to come out from this domination, and apart from this main four power, France, Russia, Austria and Turkey, apart from this main four power, and in some places in Europe was also ruled by the some other dynasty. Like that in class 9 they operate, French was ruled by the Bourbon dynasty. The Holland was ruled by the Orange dynasty. So this way the some area also ruled by the different other dynasty, but they are also supported by this main four power. Okay. So in 18th century, the whole European country was dominated by the main four power, England, Russia, Austria-Hungary and Turkey. The dynasties are the Holy Roman Dynasty, Romanov Dynasty, Habsburg Dynasty and Ottoman Dynasty. This fourth dynasty name you should remember. I'll send a content also today in PDF file. So look after this content and you will find this fourth dynasty name. The fourth dynasty dominated Holy Roman England, Romanov Russia, Austria, Hungary, that is the Habsburg, and the Ottoman dynasty, it is the Turkistan. So this fourth dynasty, over 300 or more than 300 years, they dominated the European states. They tortured, they exploited Even the society's division was totally dominated by the higher class aristocracy, and they believed that the theory of the conservatism. Now we are moving to that entering this chapter. Whole the chapter is based on the two ideologies. One is the old traditional ideology is the conservatism, and the new traditional ideology is the liberalism. And apart from this, another ideology also worked behind this European nationalism, that is romanticism. So three ideologies you will find over there. The first, the conservatism. Yes, but now question is, what is the conservative ideology working behind the European nationalism? So main theme of this chapter is that different European countries, they wanted to come out from the domination of the main four power or main four dynasty, this dynasty, and wanted to get freedom. And the way they expressed their views, the rising middle class people, they at first started the revolution. And how this revolution has been started, what was the first outbreak of the revolution? The first outbreak of the revolution was in 1789, the French Revolution. Last 9th में आप लोग पढ़ चुका हो फ्रेंच रेवोल्यूशन के बारे में. 1789, the first outbreak of European nationalism was French Revolution. And then the ideologies of the French Revolution destroyed all the conservative theories in Europe. What are the ideologies of the French Revolution? Just to remind, the equality, liberty, fraternity, these three main ideology, the idea of the democratic structure, the division of power, this ideology are destroyed the old conservative theories. What is the old conservative theories? That time, this powerful countries, they believed that the traditional system, that means the monarchy system, the church, and that rich family hierarchy, these three things are the backbone of the society and country. उस टाइम लोग सोचते थे यूरोपियन पावर जब कंट्री में होगा तो कौन सा रूलिंग होगा? मोनार्की सिस्टम. सोसाइटी को डोमिनेट कौन करेंगे? चर्च. एंड सोसाइटी में किसका दबदबा रहेगा? विल दैट मेंटेन दैट सोसाइटीज डिवीजन? द रिच क्लास. And so large section of the people from poor to middle class, you have seen that in class 9th in the French Revolution time you have read that the society was divided into three estates, first estate, second estate, third estate, and this third estate people, from beggar to rich bankers, teacher to lawyer, student to others people, this section, large section of the society, they had been denied, they had been exploited day by day. And these people, they wanted to change the scenario of Europe. They wanted to change the socio-political scenario of Europe. And that the first outbreak took place in the French in 1789. We have seen that the third estate people, just remind क्या पढ़ा था आप लोगों ने, the third estate people, they destroyed the Bastille Fort, they thrown out the Bourbon dynasty rulers Louis XVI and established a republican government in France. And that republican parliament was known as the National Assembly. So our first topic of this chapter is the National Assembly. When you read the topic, in the second page of this chapter, there is a whole page is discussed on this National Assembly. That's why this is important. This is the first milestone, the French Revolution, the European nationalism. Why? Because whatever the changes brought by the French Revolution, that changes was accepted by the whole Europe. देखा देखी लोग सही नहीं आया. पड़ोस में घर में आपका बेटे को मोबाइल दिया, तुमने भी, तुम लोगों ने भी लड़ाई चालू कर दी, तुमको देखे और भी लड़ाई चालू कर दी। सो देख देख के सीखना। सो यूरोपियन फ्रेंच में जो चेंजेस आए, the French people started enjoying the liberty, equality and fraternity, and the National Assembly had given the more importance of the people's opinion for ruling the country. And that thinking, that ideology want to adopt the whole Europe. And the result was, at the same time, and different part of the Europe was sparking for the nationalism, for the independence. They wanted to come out from their dominated power. Now question is, what the National Assembly have done? क्या क्या किया था National Assembly? Whatever the ideologies were launched by the National Assembly, that was the based on the three main ideologies of the French Revolution: liberty, equality, and fraternity. Liberty means freedom. What was the liberty was there in French Revolution? And that was decided in the National Assembly, the no single citizen. The single citizen, all are born free. There has been no division of the society. All are born free. There has been no restriction of the slavery system. There has been no restriction of the guild restriction. So all are born free. All are equal before the eyes of law. The changes the flags of the Bourbon dynasty and established the new flag of France, tricolor flag. They changed the new national song, new national anthem of France. The French language was recognized as a national language. The French currency was recognized as the national currency. The guild restriction was abolished. Equality was established. Feudal system, that's been Jamindari system, was abolished from the France. So these things, when they implemented, and the French people were quite happy. So these are the steps of the National Assembly were the first outbreak or first milestone to create the nationalist feelings among the people of France as well as in the people of other countries, other parts of the Europe. And to see the France, other European countries also wanted to adopt these things, the ideologies of the National Assembly. And that's why we are telling you, find a question is a several time and several page in book. What are the steps have been taken by the French revolutionaries to create the sense of national identity among the people of Europe or people of France? And what that National Assembly had given the main importance that country and its citizens are the main superior rather than the system of the government. Before the French Revolution, what I was saying, what is the first priority of the nation? The first priority of the nation is the king and queen or monarchy system. But the National Assembly, after the changes, when the Bourbon dynasty destroyed in France, the National Assembly had given the first priority to the citizen, that we all are equal. They had given that the La Patria and La Citoyeno. La Patria means the fatherland, La Citoyeno, the all the citizens. All the citizens should consider the French is their fatherland. Same way we have seen at the time of the Indian nationalism, that Indian nationalists tried to protect that India is our motherland. Bharat Mata ka image create kar diya tha. The same way that French National Assembly had been created the idea that La Patria, that's been fatherland, and La Citoyeno, that's been all the citizens should consider the French is their fatherland. And to create this idea, they have taken more certain steps. New national song, new national anthem, new currencies for the France, one language for whole France, and the system of the slavery system abolished, the guild system abolished, the equality for everyone has been decided. So these things, these steps, 8-9 steps are there. So later in a book also I will show you. There will be the separate question of that. what are the steps have been taken by the National Assembly or French Revolutionary to create the sense of national identity. So these things had been created a sensitive feelings towards the motherland. मदर्स लैंड के बारे में, अपना मातृभूमि के बारे में सोचने के लिए मजबूर किया था. दिस थिंग, द थिंग वी आर थिंक, पीपल ऑफ फ्रांस थिंक दैट इट इज आवर फादरलैंड, and all people are celebrating a common national holiday, all people are speaking in a French language, all people are using a single currency. That's when the people started thinking this is a one country. The idea to build a one country on the basis of the some ideology is called like that India. We have the different regional state, different languages, different culture, different religion, caste, but we are Indian. How we can say? From Kerala to Kashmir, all the people singing a same national song, same national anthem. We are celebrating the national holidays, 2-3 holidays. We are using a, चाहे कितना भी मुकेश अंबानी हो जाए, करोड़पति हो जाए, इंडिया में आए तो इंडियन करेंसी यूज कर पाएंगे. कमाई चले डॉलर में, लेकिन करेंसी इंडिया में रहो तो इंडियन करेंसी यूज करो. नेशनल फ्लैग. So this thing built a sense of fraternity, sense of brotherhood, and which created later on generated idea for building a nation state. That's when a country should be based on a same ideology of people. And that is the main basic point of the nationalism, and which had given in Europe, which had given the French Revolution. 1789, the French Revolution was the first milestone or first outbreak to build European nationalism. Today this much only. In the next video clip, we will discuss all the 4 topics of the first part between 1789 to 1815. What are the incidents took place in Europe that time, and which have been created the sense of national identity in Europe. Thank you.